What's going on?
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste till my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. No, I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
My beard's whiter than your beard. My beard's whiter than yours.
It is
My beard's
not.
whiter because I've seen scarier things. It's yeah, I guess. Well, it's the lighting. I think that's the
Nah,
lighting. It's
you still got
40-watt bulb.
you got that Florida tan on it.
Yeah. I would imagine you've seen more than. I mean, you cut your teeth in the decade of the most demonic activity in the history of this country, the 1970s. Is it any coincidence that that's the same time disco was discovered, Ken? I mean, do you really? Both of them are just as frightening, so one begat the other. I don't know. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday night show, Dead Air Live on the Dead Air Full Spectrum channel. My name is George Lopez. With me tonight is the one and only, the godfather of the paranormal, John Zaffis, as a host tonight. So, John, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. You're on your own.
He's going out to buy baklava paint.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, doing good.
Yes,
Can't complain.
the spring thaw has arrived. You're
Yes, it
getting warmer
has.
weather. Now you have what, 6 months, 5 months to replace your snow blower, your snow plow.
Probably. Like I said earlier when we were chit chatting, it was the first time, and I don't know how long. We just got so much snow here on the coast that I literally broke that whole propeller thing. But then again, the snow blower's like 35 years old, so I think everything's supposed to last forever.
Why throw it away if it's working? That's
That's
all.
right. If it's that broken, don't fix it.
The reason why John is here tonight, obviously, for those of you who are part of our Patreon membership and those of you who were members of the Rolling Hills Asylum page, last night the team, Ken DeCosta's team, Rise of Paranormal, was at Rolling Hills Asylum doing an investigation. I asked Ken when we finished up around 10 o'clock how much later that they were up investigating. He said till 2. And he said tomorrow night on Monday Town Hall, he's going to be talking about some of the incredible experiences that they had in the two locations they visited on Friday and then on Saturday. So make sure that you, and we had got 4 new Patreon members from last night. Make sure you guys do come and join us. If you don't get a spot on screen, you can certainly still interact with us in the chat. So make sure you guys come and visit us tomorrow night. Patreon Town Hall, that is at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So now, tonight, John, you are the perfect co host to be with me tonight because of this upcoming location that you're going to be appearing at, and that is May 15th through 17th. And it's not your first rodeo at this location, correct?
No, I've been there about 10 times now.
Wow. And how would you rate it of all the places you've been to?
1 to a 10 and 11. I've had some good experiences in there. Up in the attic, we went all the way up in the rafters. We were doing a ghost hunt one night. We had so much activity going on. We had about 10 people that experienced a whole bunch of stuff in there. Another place where I've had a lot of activity is the chapel area, where it's, I guess, I would say it's about center, if I remember correctly, where everything, the center of the building had a lot of activity there. And believe it or not, down in between where two buildings go out, I had a tremendous amount of activity down right in that area when I was out there at one of the events. So it's a very active place, great place to go. Big, you get to go into a lot of the cells, and it's nice and creepy and everything, and that's the best part of it.
Well, this interview tonight extends out more than just this upcoming event. It's for any and all of you who are paranormal investigators or enthusiasts who have not yet checked this off on your bucket list to take that opportunity to be introduced to it. And there's nobody better to tell us about this incredible location than the people that are in charge of the private and nighttime investigations, and I am looking forward to this. Please welcome to our show tonight, Greg and Kathy. Let me give it right. Feketik. I hope I got it right. We were
You got it
practicing
right.
before the show.
Yep,
Welcome,
you
guys.
said it
How are you
right.
tonight?
Hey, how you
Good.
doing?
How you guys doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm going for baklava, John. Go ahead. All yours.
Yeah, here he goes again. Here he goes again.
I hope you bring some for us.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Uh,
Titles. Make sure I get that correct. What is your title and position at the Ohio State Reformatory?
Well, I'm the paranormal program manager, which means I run the department. Anything involving paranormal there, it falls under me, and I manage it from that point. I have a great team, a lot of volunteers that help to make it successful.
So
And
we're
I am the lead paranormal investigator. So any questions that have to do with the paranormal, they come to me.
we're talking about including the investigations, also the tours.
We're talking about the paranormal tours. As far as the Ohio State Reformatory, there is a lot of things that go on there. It's not just the paranormal. We have daytime tours, which I don't have anything to do with other than knowing that they take place. There's all kinds of self-guided tours because it is a big museum. John, you can attest to that. There's a
Yeah.
lot to see there outside of the paranormal too. We have, museums there and everything. So we have a whole department that handles that part of it, and then we have a whole department, which is the paranormal, that handles all of the nighttime stuff.
How long have you guys been there now?
We started investigating here in 2004, but we've started working here 2013. That's when we started volunteering.
Yeah,
And go ahead, Kathy.
I was just going to say, yeah, we had a little process in the way that we did this. The first time we went there was in 2004, and we fell in love with the building. And if you've ever seen it, you'll understand why we fell in love with the building. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And after investigating there several times a year, we decided to volunteer in 2013. Greg's goal was always to work there when he retired, and Greg, you accomplished that.
Yeah, retired in 2011, 2013. Now we started volunteering here.
And then I started volunteering with him in 2020. I became the paranormal assistant, helping the coordinator at the time. And a week before I was retiring from the corporate world, I received a text while on vacation that the paranormal coordinator was resigning from the position. And I just went, I have to try for it because if I don't try for it, I'll kick myself for the rest of my life. So I did, and I got it, and it's the best thing that ever happened.
And where were we on vacation at?
Oh, we
Michigan
were,
Paracon. Michigan
yeah, we were at
Paracon.
Michigan Paracon. Yeah, that was a great convention. Michigan Paracon, we loved going there. That was a great place.
I miss it because there wasn't any of them that I was never at. Every Paracon they had, I was at right up to the end. So it was cool, and it was always a different type of MO with that whole thing because all the people just stay right there and they're all right there. Everybody eats right
Right.
there. So that, again, it was a different environment altogether. And we're sorry to see it end, but
Yeah,
that happens.
it does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we felt the same way though.
Yeah.
John, you're on a roll. Keep going, sir.
I got. Oh, excuse me. I got to go pick up the Blackville odds. Ready?
Yeah. How have you guys seen the evolution of this curiosity of the field? Because we remember back when it was on fire, and I think that's the time that I met and befriended John. It was at the Stanley Hotel, and we hit it off and just kept in communication. He was one of my first guests on Dead Air 17 years ago.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so, but again, it was on fire at that point in time. Obviously, there have been dips and rises within this field. But as far as the tourism part of it, how is it still going? Investigators coming out still?
As far
Oh,
as yes, with the paranormal program at OSR, definitely. Their people are still coming out. They're still loving everything about it. They like the ghost walks. They like the mini ghost hunts, public ghost hunts, and of course, we have those that do the private ghost hunts, which is what Greg leads. And those are the smaller ones. Like it's a 250,000 square foot building. And when you have a private investigation, Greg, how many people on the average would you say you get a night for privates?
well, right now, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at right now. I am at the Ohio State Reformatory in the warden's dining room. And the reason I'm here is because we have a private investigation tonight. And tonight I have 13 guests.
Wow.
So, yep, that's the building right there.
Yeah, and could you imagine having only 13 people investigating that whole building?
And I've had as little as one guest in the building.
That's a brave soul.
Now,
Well,
and
it was
Ah,
funny because um, he was supposed to have somebody else come with him, and in fact, we made his break room right in this room that I'm at now. And when it got dark, he knocked on our office door, and he's like, "Hey, uh, do you guys want to go with me while I investigate?" Well, he did not go by himself. We went with him the rest of the night because it can be very intimidating in this building.
Oh, yeah. Let your
y-
imagination run wild.
you know,
Exactly.
and with the paranormal, as far as the ticketing and everything, something I have noticed, and Greg can attest to this too. This goes along with the conventions. There was a time where people bought tickets and everything way ahead of time. You know, you were sold out. You were sold out. Where it seems like here of
yeah.
late, people are waiting till the last minute to buy tickets and things like that. I don't know if it's because they're like, okay, if I buy it 3 months in advance, I don't know if something's going to happen and I won't be able to go. So the first, I was like kind of panicking, like, why are we getting the sales? Well, it's not that,
Everybody.
yeah, but
Yeah.
when you get to the time of the event, it's like everybody's buying. So that's
One,
a
two,
good.
three. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm. Now, on a flip side, Greg, why don't you talk about our team and as far as the paranormal with our team and how it's taken a dive pretty much.
Well, we have our own paranormal team too. So we do a lot of private residence investigations. And one thing that I have noticed is, you know, back when there was a lot of paranormal TV shows on.
Sure.
And now everything has died down from the big networks, you know, Discovery, History, you know, ABC, and all those stations, and everything's gone to like the streaming and YouTube and everything. But I did notice something really interesting. So during the year of 2020, year of COVID, everybody was home. Everybody was watching all of the ghost hunting shows. Now that yeah, I'm a stat guy. I keep stats on everything, right? That year, we received about 180 requests for private home investigations. Now, that includes the whole state of Ohio because we have teams in Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, so we cover the whole state. So that was 180 requests in 2020. Since then, it slowly has declined. So there's not as many TV shows on the air. Everybody is out and about now. And last year, 2025, I think we had a total of 40. So everything is like it's all dying down now. So there's a correlation there, I believe. So people are out and about. They're not watching as many ghost hunting shows, and it's all there's
Well, it's not only that either, Greg, but everybody's got a video cam on their phone and everybody can reach out to a streaming service, even just doing Facebook Live, but no matter what the platform is, everyone now is seasoned, or John loves this term, expert in the
oh,
paranormal field.
oh
Uh,
yeah, oh
So,
I'm with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yep.
which,
We're with you on that.
which is a whole nother discussion on top of
It
that.
Oh
is.
yeah.
Yeah, well, let's not go there.
Who can tell us the history of this amazing location
Go
from
ahead,
from
Greg. That's your
from,
Yep,
area.
yep,
from
yeah.
its
She gives
foundation
that to
on
me
up,
all the
Greg?
time. So yeah. She always gives me all the date stuff. All right. Well, the reformatory, it all started in the late 1800s, middle to late 1800s. Um, Construction actually started in 1886 and was finished in 1896. Yep. That is the administration portion. That's was completed in 1896. First 150 inmates were brought here, and they went to work building the 25-foot wall that surrounded the back of the building. Now, the west cell block is on the left side of the screen, east cell block on the right. That was completed in 1910. Now, at the time, this was a reformatory for young first time offenders. Males ages 15, 16 up to 30 could be incarcerated here. They didn't spend a lot of time in their cells, maybe about 8 hours in the evening, nights sleeping. The other 16 hours, they had to go to church, they had to learn a trade, they had to go to school, and they had to learn social skills. As the years progressed, it slowly turned into a maximum security prison. And that picture was taken in 1968. That's about the time it was a full blown maximum security prison. The prison wasn't built as a maximum security prison. Conditions got really bad here, started deteriorating. Inmates, they had rights. You could not force them to go to church, could not force them to go to school, could not force them to learn a trade. So they used to spend the vast amount of time in their cells, 23, 24 hours a day, two, sometimes three inmates to a cell. Conditions got really bad. Inmates eventually filed a lawsuit with the state of Ohio. Uh, they eventually won, and state built them nice prisons behind this prison, which are still here. There's two prisons behind us, and the prison closed at the end of December 1990. So, and then of course, Shawshank Redemption came in about 1993, was filming. Um, and then after that, they started tearing down the back buildings. Citizens of Mansfield got together and said, whoa, no, we need to protect this building. So they formed the Mansfield Reformatory Preservation Society, and to make a long story short, they purchased it from the state of Ohio at auction for $1. So that's history in a nutshell. And yep, that's called our Jesus room. Um, that area is open to our guests tonight to investigate. And that's where they filmed the Rita Hayworth movie scene in the movie Shawshank Redemption.
Unbelievable history there. Unbelievable. John, from an investigator standpoint, I know you're host, but I can ask you questions too. I do the same thing with Ken. Um, the dynamic of what Greg was talking about, 23 hours of isolation, all the different mental stresses that go on in this building. What is it creating as far as energy in that building?
I think the what I always found interesting, especially about there, was the nighttime because it still feels ramped up, especially when you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not going to remember certain locations. Okay, when you're in the rotunda, then you go off to the left looking at it. There's a section that's up front where the cells are that is very, very dark. There's a lot of activity in it. Do you know which area I'm
Are you
referring?
talking about solitary confinement? You have to actually go through a couple gated
Yeah,
doors?
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
that's
Okay.
solitary confinement.
I had, because you know me, I wander all over the place, especially when nobody else is around. So I had gone back into that area there and just walking by certain cells, you could feel different energy to it. And it was just very, very weird because, again, I've been in several other the prisons and didn't have it like there. And actually, I did that the last time I was there. We were all done for the day and everything, and blah 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 blah. Everybody had taken off. Then everybody was coming back later for the ghost hunts, and right away I went, "Oh, okay, this is perfect timing." I went down and started walking down around there, and that's where I was like, it really kind of. I was like, it was different, and then I was just trying to say to myself, "Okay, what was it really like for these people?" I mean, if you were locked up for that amount of time or anything, I think I would go crazy, you know, being confined like that. But today, I don't know. I probably would like it today 'cause it's quieter.
Well, it's really interesting, John, that you say that and everything about being confined in those areas and what it was like. And it was really, really bad there for a while, which is why they filed that lawsuit. I mean, you think about it. Sometimes in those cells, you saw their cells; they're small. They
Yeah.
could put 3 to 4 people in those cells. And
Man.
we've actually had reports. We had heard stories about different situations. And then during some of our paranormal events, we've learned from people that actually were there as an inmate or a guard confirm these stories that we have heard. And one of them being, when it was summertime, there's no air conditioning and the building can get real hot, so they would bust out the windows, right? Well, come winter, they wouldn't fix the windows. They'd be like, well, you busted out the windows, so guess what? We're not fixing them. And the building would be so cold that the water in their toilets would actually freeze.
Brutal.
Jesus.
That's how bad it was. And I think there's been reports of uh, like rodents and insects and things like that as well.
Well, they used to have to put like toilet paper in their noses and ears to keep the bugs out, cockroaches out, and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, it was really bad. Now, I will say prior to that time, though, the reformatory was an amazing place. It really did exactly what it was supposed to do. It reformed people. If they were the first time offenders. They were coming there. They were being reformed. They were being put back out into society, and they were very successful. So the program worked really well until they took all of the requirements away. Soon as those requirements went away is when it went downhill and got really, really bad.
When was the first, to your knowledge, actual discovery of the paranormal activity going on in that building? We're going all the way back to the 70s because it stayed open until the 1990s, but things happen while it's still up and working. I mean, were there testimonials by guards or inmates, things of that sort?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, the answer is yes to that. I'm horrible with dates and things like that, but we did have an inmate. Well, he no longer was an inmate, of course, but he used to give tours, the inmate tours, and he talked about things that happened when he was in his cell. And one thing that sticks out in my mind was, they at night they'd be locked into their cells, and the guard would walk down, the pier. You could tell the guard was coming because you'd hear the jingling of the keys. And he said one night he was sitting there and he heard the keys jingling coming down, and there wasn't anybody there. So it walked right by him and there wasn't anybody there. So yeah, there have been reports that while it was an operating prison, that there were things happen. Greg, do you have anything to add to that?
I did some reenactments with some former guards here who also had experiences here. Like, I don't remember exactly what they were, but they were out like in the parking lot or in the back by where the solitary confinement area is. So, and like I said, the building closed in 1990, so that was in the 80s. So, they were experiencing stuff here. So that, like John said, there's a lot of energy here.
Yes,
Uh,
there is.
a lot of trauma here. Well, just like any prison,
Mhm.
lot of trauma, lot of emotional energy. I mean, these guys didn't want to be here, you know. So,
Who would? Exactly, who would?
Right.
exactly. So,
Yeah, you have all of that energy from the inmates and everything, but you also have the energy from the guards and people that work there and everything. There's emotions that are running all throughout that whole building. It doesn't matter if it's in the cell block or if it's in the administration where, I call executives, but that's not the proper term, where they were working. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there. But also we have to consider the fact of what that ground was prior to the prison being there. So you put the ground and the prison, the ground, and there was a Civil War encampment there, and then the prison and everything on top of it. There is a history of energy that goes way, way back. And Johnny, I think you were one that experienced something that wasn't of the prison, and that was you were talking about the area where the buildings go off. That was third floor administration. And you were down at the end, and you actually said there was something in that closet area. Do you remember?
Now that you're bringing it up, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I don't think he was of the prison, but you picked up on him right away. We call him the creepy crawler.
That's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, okay, now I'm remembering that because I was telling you, and you guys was telling me about it, and you called it the creepy crawler. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yep. You think that's got to do with the land or the prison?
I think that one might have more to do with the land,
Okay.
but who am I to know for sure? But I do think that it's more with the land. There's a lot to do with the prison, of course, but there's a variety of energy in that building.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
we go from claims of activity to investigators of activity. When did the Shawshank prison, because looking online, a lot of people will call it that. Obviously, it's just because it's such a iconic movie.
Yep.
But Ohio State Reformatory became a place to investigate. Do you have the history on when that started? Had to be back at the height of the boom
Didn't
of the paranormal shows.
Didn't that start back in like 1991 was the first one after they had closed the building, like a
Wow.
year or
No,
two
no, no,
after?
it wasn't that late. I think that was probably about, I could be wrong, but it was like the late 90s, probably about
Late
2000.
90s. Okay.
Bill.
Well, I mean, when the first time we investigated in 2004, Oh, wow. It was,
Yeah,
I mean, it was, oh yeah, this place needed a lot of work. I
it
was
was
looking at
run
photos
down.
the other night and it
Mhm.
was like, whoa, yeah, there was a lot of garbage and, oh yeah, the place needed sweeping. It was in bad shape.
The walls behind where Greg is sitting right now, that did not look like that at all. They
Yeah.
were chipping pieces of paint that were falling off the walls, and the ceiling was dropping. The woodwork was horrible. I mean, no furniture. I mean, the restoration that has been done at the Ohio State Reformatory is just amazing compared to the first time that we were there. Now, one of the things I do want to say is, okay, the Shawshank Redemption movie actually saved the building, but the paranormal program is what brought the building to where it is today. If it had not been for the paranormal, I don't know what would have happened to that building, because it was the paranormal that began bringing in the money to be able to start restoring the building into what it is today. And Johnny, you've seen it. It is beautiful. They're doing wonderful work there.
Oh, it's fantastic. Compare, again, the work, you would never even know that it was let go up where the offices and stuff are. The
Right.
staircases, I mean, are mint condition. Some of the little passageways you go through. I mean, George, when we do the convention there, they have the tables all lined up in front of the cells. And, because it's cool, anytime you want to duck away and get away from somebody and have a little snack or something, we go inside the little cells and we just stick our heads out to see what's going on. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun doing that. But again, too, I've noticed with several of us later on, we'd be talking or something, and they would tell me, they'll go, I was in the cell there. I was just sitting there having a snack or something, and I felt this or I felt that. Yeah, I said, it is pretty creepy when you're there, even though it's very loud and you're hearing everybody on the outside. Inside those little rooms, it's different. It just feels I call them rooms, but they're really cells. But they feel totally different. It's super cool.
And it's so interesting too. You know, you're talking about the rooms. During the day, the place has a feel to it. At night, it completely changes.
Changes.
The
Right.
energy completely changes. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the
Mhm.
proprietor or who owns the Ohio State Reformatory? Is it still the state, or did somebody, a privateer, take it over?
It's
Mansfield,
owned,
go
yeah, it's
ahead.
owned privately by the Mansfield Reformatory Preservation Society. There's a board that owns it.
Mhm.
Nice. That
Yeah,
is
it's a nonprofit agency, and they are board operated. And of course, we do have our different departments that help to run it, and the money goes back into the building, and it's obvious that it does. Um, so
which I think is so important. And I know
it
that
is.
there are not enough locations that do exactly that, but thank God that there are those out there that are that attentive to it. Case in point, also Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is another one.
Hmm.
They've done miracles with that location from the first time I went back there in 2010. So, yeah, it's God bless that they're putting that investment to good use and keeping things going the way that they're going. Now, who makes the decisions? And this will be a topic that certainly is close to everyone's heart as to how an investigation is conducted. There was a sweet spot for a while there of respect and a sweet spot of enough fear not to really start going in there and provoking. And then I won't blame a particular show. You all can make up your own minds as to what perpetuated everything is a demon kind of scenario. What restrictions, and is it contractually, is it on paper? What restrictions do the investigators have to adhere to while they're at Ohio State Reformatory?
I don't know who you're talking about or anything. I
It's
never heard of
trade
these
Did you
secrets.
hear
demon
that?
things.
I knew it. The Haunted Collector, right? It had to be that show.
No, actually, Greg, I'm going to let you talk about that because that's what you do at the very beginning of the investigation.
Yeah, we do have certain rules that we ask the investigators to abide by. Now, they are renting out the building and they are paying, good bucks for it. And most of these people are, investigators that have investigated all over. So we have certain rules, that they abide by. And one of those that I do talk about is no provoking. This is their home, it's not yours. How would you like it if somebody came to your home, knocked on your front door and started challenging you and provoking you? Um, but there again, if they are doing it, I don't know about it because they may be up somewhere and I'm not with them. So that one's kind of hard to enforce. Uh, but sometimes people that have done it, yeah, they've been taken care of. Let's put it that way. So, but
Yeah,
we do have certain rules here that we ask people to abide by. Um,
Now,
and
yeah,
John,
and
you've been to enough of these places. The same situation. You're an investigator,
mhm.
such as I would imagine during this upcoming event, Parapsychon, that you are going to be with amateur investigators who are out there. You see something going on, John, that just is not above board. How do you address it?
Or it again, I always try to keep it to the point where you can get someone to understand something. And usually at that point, if they're still not understanding it, and I'll go, "What word didn't you understand?" So, when it comes to watching what a lot of people are willing to put themselves in the forefront of to just to have some kind of, I don't know what experience they're looking for, but I mean, again, if you're doing EVP sessions or we're doing the ghost box, or they're getting some type of activity that's occurring, to me, even still, that's still phenomenal. I still get excited just by that. But again, usually if anybody gets too out of control or anything, I usually will confront them and tell them, that makes other people uncomfortable, and it does. And,
Mhm.
and when I start to see people get upset, I confront that and say, look, you're freaking them out. Please don't do that. So again, if it reaches a point where it gets too carried away, where actually the last round we were at, they jumped in and helped me out because it got a little bit too carried away. And again, with people, you know, when you're in there, we all talk about that when we're doing these ghost hunts. Like Greg said, what they're doing on their own and everything, nobody can control that. People are going to do this. It's nothing new. But when you're in that structured environment and you have different people, you have to treat that a little bit more structured on what you're doing and how you're handling it. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
and
you know me, I don't have a problem saying anything. So,
yeah,
Yeah,
and John, I'm going to kind of lead off of that a little bit because what we were talking about is the private investigations, which those are smaller groups, and honestly, they're good groups of people. They're very respectful. They follow the rules. We really haven't had any problems. As a matter of fact, we've been very fortunate, and I'm knocking on wood as I say this, that all of the people that have come through, even when they are the public ghost hunts, they're understanding of the building. They respect the building. They respect the spirits that are there. And the other thing that we tell them, you need to respect one another too. There are other people that are paying to be there that don't need you running around and screaming and provoking and things like that. So, that is one thing we manage very well at OSR because during the public ones, I have a team of people that walk through the building and they make sure that everything is running smoothly and that people aren't loud and they're not
yes, you do.
obnoxious,
Yes.
and we remain we we want respect in that building. It's very important to us. The
Yeah.
building means a lot, and people know and understand that. And they also know we don't fool around. And Johnny, you know me, I've got that same personality. I'm not afraid to go, you're out.
And we've had issues, some of our events, and we've
Oh,
talked
yeah.
with people. And
Mhm.
I mean, we don't tolerate that, especially when other people are paying money. We don't need somebody, making it unfun for other people. So,
The guest experience is very important, extremely important. And like I said, it's respect all the way around for the building, for the spirits, for the other people, for us.
Yeah.
and if we have to remove somebody, we will, and
I
we
just,
have.
yeah, yeah.
And that's the worst part about it is the majority of those people who begin to act out are just for self-identity. They just want to be noticed. They want to be the center of attention. Has nothing to do with the spirit encounter, but
Mhm.
they will throw themselves onto the floor dramatically to be able to say, oh, it was a spirit who pushed me over. No, you're just an idiot. We had that too much. Who sent the evidence photos to Ken? Was that Kathy?
I sent them, but Greg sent them to me. So it was a
Okay.
team effort.
All right. So I would like to go through those so that people can see some of the things that had happened. Um, Chair room scratches. All right. If you want to first talk about the chair room, whether it's Greg or
Okay.
Kathy.
Okay. So that is a room up on our third floor admin.
John, do you
Uh,
know this? You recognize this?
Oh, yes. A lot of activity in there, too.
yeah, that is just outside the area where the creeper is seen. Now we do a thing in there that we call the chair room challenge. And there's no windows in that room. That's the hallway where the creeper is seen. And what you do, you sit in that chair with the door shut, with the lights off for about 15 minutes and see if anything will happen. Well, from my experience and experience of a lot of the guests, nothing really does happen. A lot of it, I think, is your mind playing tricks on you. People claim that you can hear voices, or you may get touched, or the chair will start shaking. But what does happen, if you're sitting in that chair with other people in the room, sometimes you'll get physically attacked. And when I
Ooh.
say physically attacked, you may get scratched. Now, I'm not talking about a scratch on an arm or a scratch on a neck, even though people have claimed that that has happened to them. And I do have pictures of that. But I'm talking about scratches right down the center of the back. So now, a lot of these photos, and when I say we, myself, other volunteers, other staff members were in the room when it happened. And a lot of these, like this one was March 13th. This one was actually, um,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. These are June 28th
Mhm,
J-
and March. Holy smokes. Two different people on this.
mhm.
this was from a group of women who were up from Texas. Now, this was in March and it was still cold in the building. So they were still bundled up. I mean, Texas, they're not used to the cold. And they were all bundled up. This was during a public ghost hunt. And there were three women, and one of our volunteers was in the room. She was sitting in the chair.
Yeah,
She
look.
complained about a burning sensation on her back. She got up and they lifted up her coat, and that's what was on her back. This one was during one of our ghost walks. There were a group of about 20 people in the room. This was a girl sitting in the chair. She got up, and as she started walking away, she started complaining about burning sensation on her back. Lifted up her coat and top, and this is what they found on her back.
Look at the width between the scratches.
Yes, yes. The volunteer who took this photo, he's a big guy and he's got big hands, and he said they were bigger than the spread on his fingers. So, and there's no way that they could have faked these with all the people in the room, and you can't scratch your back like that.
Not that high up like that. No.
Yeah.
Over. Yeah.
And this was another one. This one was March. There again, other people in the room. She's just sitting there and complain about scratches on her back. We look and there's these scratches. So this one I actually took.
Is
The
that a bite
gentleman,
mark?
huh?
Is that a bite mark?
I'm not sure if it's like a bruise or a bite mark, but he was sitting in the chair. All of a sudden, he complained about pain, lifted up his shirt, and that's what was there. So I was in the room when this one was taken. And like I said, that's me taking the photo.
Is
You can
that
see my
back of the
shadow.
arm? I can't really tell.
That is the
Lower part of the back
right.
right here.
Okay,
Yeah,
now I see it. Okay.
yeah.
Jeez.
So, but you know what? Like you said, that was in 21. I think the last one was like in 22. Nothing has really happened since then.
And,
So it
and
was like during that stretch, 21, it was funny because it was like right after COVID is when all that stuff was happening, but it hasn't happened in a while.
And I have a theory behind that. Now, again, it's a theory. There's no proof behind this at all. But after thinking about it for a while, okay, one of the rules that we do have at OSR is no crossing over. That is a rule that was in place by the board. Okay. During this time that these pictures were taken and everything, I found out that there was somebody that was crossing over spirits there, like weekly. And I became the paranormal program manager in 2022. You see, the dates were 20 and 21.
Right.
22, I became the paranormal manager, and I found out this person was doing that. And I, of course, said, we don't do that. It's against the board's rules. I don't care what your thinking is. It's a rule we have, and we have to follow it.
A frequent guest or an employee?
It's somebody that frequents there, or is
Okay.
frequently there. I'll say that. But anyways, I started thinking about it. It's like, okay, all of those scratches and everything, they stopped for a while, and I began thinking, okay, you've got good and bad in a prison, and you got a lot of really, really, really bad, right? And you're crossing over maybe the good people. You're losing that balance,
Or
the
barrier?
universal spiritual balance of things. Now, like I said, this is just a theory that I think. So you were losing the people that were actually helping to protect and keep the place balanced. We stopped with that completely stopped, and the scratches stopped. Coincidence? Yeah, it could be coincidence, but then again, it may not be. I don't know. The other thing is, maybe they were pissed off that they weren't getting crossed over. So who knows? But it seemed like when that was resolved, we didn't have those issues anymore.
John, your years of experience in this field, does that theory hold up to scrutiny, or could it be something else like somebody bringing in their own attachment and it stayed there, things of that sort? What do you make of it?
Could be all of the above. But one of the things that I was paying attention to when Kathy was saying it was right after COVID when all this stuff hit. And Greg said, was saying it also. And then it died down. At that point in time, now during COVID, were you guys shut down? The tours and everything shut down or no?
We
Yes.
were, we were,
Okay.
yeah.
So there's another area I would throw into the mixture is the fact that they weren't having any company. Nobody was stopping in to see them, talking, going back and forth and everything. So more of the energy got built up. So again, when people started coming in right after COVID, things were opening up. It was just like they were locked up in their cell 24/7, for months at a time without anybody being around. Theory, these are all theories all of us apply,
Right.
but again, it could be part of it. Yeah.
Right.
Who
And the
knows?
strange thing, we got 250,000 square feet. That's the only room that people would get physically attacked.
But
And
there's
people
also,
people would sit in the chair room by themselves and nothing would happen. It was only when other people were in the room,
it's also
which is kind of bizarre.
the location, Greg, where people believe there's a portal, and that lady actually showed you that picture of that.
Right.
They,
Right.
we've had several people report that they have felt a portal in the back of that room. And Greg, tell about that one picture that somebody showed you.
Yeah, I
Do you
actually
remember?
have it.
Oh,
I
do you?
actually have it on the phone. I may be able to
Okay,
show
I'll talk
it.
about it while you look for it then.
All
There
right.
was, and this one went on during the day. It wasn't even at night. It wasn't during a ghost hunt, or ghost walk, or anything like that. It was a regular tour during the day, and they were walking through the building. And as they were walking by the chair room, they snapped a couple of pictures.
All right, here's the first picture. Let me see if people can see that. I don't know. You may not
Now
be
you
able to.
can't see.
Okay,
Oh, there
yeah,
we
yeah.
go. Okay,
All right, so
got it.
that's the chair room. And you'll notice that is photo number 14 out of
14.
28.
Mhm.
Okay? Now, this is taken with a regular camera. It's not taken with a cell phone. And
Taken by who?
here's the,
A guest.
Okay.
no,
Whoa, look at that darkness.
Yeah,
that's photo number 15.
that's good.
All right?
And like I
So,
said, this wasn't even during a paranormal event. This was during the day. Somebody just walking through.
But see,
People
that's
were
the best.
living.
That's when you get the best. These people get the best evidence. Very random. You know, they're not investigating. They're not doing anything. Because I love that when I get stuff from people that tell me they don't even believe in the paranormal, and I look at the stuff they capture, and it's just like, wow. You know, it blows your mind when you see stuff like that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was at one point we were doing one of the tours when we were doing the ghost hunt. And I think I was up in that room, and I think there were two women that sat in the chairs, and they kept saying they were getting touched. And one of the ladies actually got up and she went downstairs because she was getting touched too much, and she just didn't like it. So I was just like, okay, that was, and I was trying to explain to her. I said, well, you're in a prison with a lot of men, so, the women are probably going to have more activity occur with them than, anything else, which is a common trait with the prison systems. So again, that's an awesome capture. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well,
I
there's
thought it
more that
was.
goes with that. Tell them about the story with the ghost walk and that one guy,
Well, oh, you mean the ghost
the,
hunt?
the psychic. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had another incident that happened there. So we had one guest that was doing the chair room challenge, and he had something happen to him while he was doing that. Something loud and heavy fell. I mean, it scared the crap out of him. Kathy and his girlfriend were sitting out in the creepy hallway, and they heard it. So I used to recreate that during my tours. So scare the crap out of people. And let me tell you about that. There's no windows in that room, so when you turn the lights off, you can't see your hand in front of your face. So I used to recreate that. And it was, people would cuss me out and call me bad names and everything. So it was all in the fun of it.
You felt
But
like you were at home, didn't you?
yeah, yeah. So there was this one time I had about 20 guests. It was a private investigation, and I had a gentleman sitting in the chair, and I had everybody get along the wall and turn off the lights, and I started telling them my story. And as I'm telling them the story, the gentleman sitting in the chair, he said, it went to my 5 o'clock. All right, I don't know what that means, so I just continue with my story. I dropped the heavy object on the floor. Everybody screamed. I turned the lights on, and there was a woman in this one corner of the room. She was out cold. She was like, I thought she was dead. I mean, I'm a retired police officer. I've seen a lot of dead bodies, and I was like, holy crap, I just killed somebody. That was my greatest fear because it's like, it really scares the crap out of people. I'm like, Oh my God. It's like, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. It's like, I just killed somebody, right? We could not wake her up. I'm panicking. I actually had to call the rescue squad. Now, eventually, we did get her up and we got her out into the creepy hallway, right? The squad, they came, they checked her out. She had no medical history, her vitals were fine, and she investigated for the rest of the night. So after the squad left, I asked her, I said, "What do you remember? What happened?" She said, "I remember the lights going out and then talking with the medics." She remembers nothing. Now, the guy that was sitting in the chair, he stuck around and he said, "I got to tell you something." He goes, "I'm a psychic. Now, when you turned the lights off, an entity rushed me." He said, "I pushed it to the side and it went to my 5 o'clock. That's why I said it went to my 5 o'clock." Guess where she was standing? Exactly at his 5 o'clock. Now,
Okay.
here's the thing, she did not fall forward, she slid down the wall. Her friends on either side of her did not know she went down. This guy did not say it went to my 9 o'clock, it went to my 12 o'clock, it went to my 2 o'clock. He said it went to my 5 o'clock, exactly where she was standing. And she went out cold. That's one of those things where I have no explanation, and it happened in the chair room.
John,
I
anything like that you've encountered?
Oh yeah. That again, when you have those parallels with different people having things occurring, they don't know each other. There's no connections, but yet this just lined up perfectly. No explanation, no conversations that took place. But what I think happened to her is that she just went into such a deep state of a trance that she just went right out because she totally blanked out. So again, and there was nothing medically wrong. That doesn't happen often, but I've been around when that's happened a couple of times, and it scares you because you think something happened to the individual, and right away your guard goes up and you get nervous. So I can understand all that. So again, when those things do occur and they do happen, it's always good to keep it in mind because it's those aha moments that verify different things that all of us experience. Can't prove it, can't disprove it. Something happened, something took place. There's your, quote unquote evidence, if you will.
Right, right. It just everything just meshed. Everything. I mean, what
Yeah,
he said, what she said, and
yeah.
it's in the chair room.
But can you
That's
categorize
strange.
it though, guys? Would that be a temporary oppression? Would that just be simply an attack? I mean, what explains the loss of memory for all that time?
That'd be difficult to say, George, because you would have to know her history. You would have to know, a lot about her. Has it ever happened before? Did she have any medical conditions or anything? Because a lot of times people won't tell you that stuff. They don't. They just don't. Come forth with a lot of that. So there could have been other things that were contributing to it. Now, if there was nothing that contributed to it, again, that would even get me more riled up because I would want to know what the heck actually happened that she blanked out to that point and didn't remember any of it. Because I mean that's a classic sign for someone that could be quote unquote truly possessed, but again that would be awful random at that moment to transpire to that point. Something happened, but it's hard to say what.
Hmm.
Right.
Right.
And it could
Right.
have been a misclassification by the psychic, where he put up his wall as barrier. This thing slid to his 5 o'clock and just walloped this woman. But it could have just been an energy spirit from within those walls. And
Hmm.
it was just
Right.
an overwhelming, and I don't want to say possession in a sense, but, we always talk about the fact how people, when they drink too much, they change personalities completely. And we've always subscribe to the theory that there's a possibility of an attachment taking control, an
Hmm.
insane attachment taking control, and that's why some spirit who their attachment was to the brain waves under the influence of alcohol because they were alcoholics and they want that buzz again. And people would do things way beyond their normal character when they were drunk. So we always wondered whether or not there was something to that. So in this particular one, going after the psychic and then being pushed to the side and hitting this woman unexpectedly may have been a cause behind it. Again, that's what I love about this field. There are no certainties, and it's a constant aspect of trying to find the commonality in things and why they happen the way that they do. That's a fascinating story, though. It really is. We're going to go a little bit over time here. Are you guys okay for the moment? Do you need a break or
Oh,
anything?
yeah. No, I'm good.
I want to get through some of this other evidence. This one has me curious. Tell me about Brooks' room.
Yeah, that I put that in there. That's not really evidence. Just put that in there. Well, we got a little story. So that is where they filmed the scene from the Shawshank Redemption, uh, the Brewer boarding house. But I like putting the Brooks silhouette there right in front of the window because it keeps the guests on their toes. Because when they walk by that area, they see a
In the
shadow
dark.
figure standing in front of the window. So
Yeah.
every once in a while, you'll hear a scream.
Marketing
Yeah. So,
and your poltergeist experience, Greg.
oh yeah, right there. Okay. So my first and only poltergeist experience occurred right here in this kitchen. Now, at the time, this used to be our, for lack of a better term, our paranormal office. So, right through that open door, that's our break room, which we call the mini bullpen. That's where our guests, uh, that's where the restrooms are, that's where their tables are, that's where they put their equipment. That freezer looking straight ahead at the time, that freezer wasn't even a year old. And most of the time, I would have somebody helping me. But this particular night, I did not have anybody. And you'll see that silver table to the right of the screen. There is a TV on the wall there where I could look at all the security cameras. And while my back was almost to the
Freezer.
yeah to the freezer. I'm working on parapsychon stuff on my laptop on that silver table. All my guests are out investigating. There's nobody down in this area, just me. And I'm working on parapsychon stuff, and I hear this noise. And I turn to my left and I look, and that door, the right door, as we're looking at it, is just opening and slamming on its own. It's just bang, bang,
Whoa.
bang, bang, bang. It did it 8 times, just opening and slamming. I was like, holy crap. And my first thing was like, nobody's going to believe me. I have no witnesses. There's no cameras. There's nothing. Just me looking at this door opening and slamming. The first thing I did was call Kathy. I'm like, you are not going to believe what just happened. And I still remember the time. It was 10:25 p.m. It was on May 25th, and I think the year was like 2023. Um, it was amazing. Now the thing is, there was only like a bag of chicken thighs and a bag of blueberries in there. It was like a brand new freezer. Um, I mean, the seals on it were good, and it's one of those doors where if you close it, it's really hard to open back up. You got to wait a little while for it to unseal. But this was just, I mean, it was like opening like all the way, just opening and slamming, opening and slamming, opening and slamming. I mean, it was amazing. That's the first
I,
time I've ever seen anything like that.
I really honestly, looking at the picture, was going to have you tell us about one of the cold drinks on the table in the middle sliding, and I was be like, condensation.
No,
I can't
no,
explain a door slamming 8 times.
No.
No, it was amazing. Right now, I'm thinking, did I really see that? But yeah, I did. I saw it and I heard it. I mean, it was freaking amazing. And that area is one of our more active areas in the prison, believe it or not.
Yeah, the mini bullpen right through the doors there, Johnny, that's where the bathrooms are, where they
Yeah.
usually are.
Yep.
There, we've seen a lot of shadow figures in there.
And
Um,
voices and screaming.
yeah. There was actually one of our volunteers was in the ladies' restroom, and it was a paranormal event. So she was the only one in the restroom, and
It was a
everybody
private
else was kind of,
investigation.
yeah, our private investigation, I meant. And she was standing there washing her hands, and she heard a woman talking right behind her, and she was like, "There's no one here."
And just prior to that, though, we heard voices coming from the mini bullpen, the break room, and I'm like, "Do you hear those voices?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then shortly after that, she heard the voices in the woman's restroom.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it
yeah, that was a
extends your
crazy place.
investigation to be sure. When it's at home base, leave some of your equipment. Don't take everything with you because you never know what's going to happen. All right,
Right.
last two I've got here. This one says Kathy apparition.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this was amazing. You know, it's one of those things that you, as an investigator, you wait for, you hope one day you experience and everything. I call this my holy grail. You know, I have so many experiences at the Ohio State Reformatory that I can talk about, but this one was the coolest. And Johnny, this is right around the corner from where the creepy hallway is.
Okay.
Okay, so if you were walking towards the chair room and you went left, this is that area right there.
Okay.
Okay, that way, so when you're there next, you'll know to go to that spot. But anyways, looking at the picture over to the right, there's a doorway that goes into one of the administrative areas, and we actually had a private ghost hunt that night, and I was helping Greg that night. So Greg was leading the tour of about 10 or 15 people, and he was telling them what we normally do. And I got a phone call. Now, normally when I'm at work, I will not answer my phone because it's just my ethics. I was brought up that way. So I don't normally answer my phone, but it was like 7:30 at night, and it was from my son, and I knew that my grandson was boxing that night. So I thought, oh shoot, something happened to my grandson, right? So I thought I have to take this call because he normally doesn't call me that time of night. So I come walking around, and right where that window is, I stood up the first window. I turned and I stood and looked. I was looking out the window and I answered the phone and I go, "Hello, what's up?" And just as I said that, I just felt like somebody was standing behind me. You know how you just have that feeling? So right after I said that, I kind of turned and I looked up, and right behind me was about 6 foot tall man standing there. And I dropped the F bomb and, some other words because that's what you do when you get startled by something. So, and I hear my grandson giggling, ha ha ha, grandma's cussing, grandma's cussing. And my son goes, "What's going on? What's going on?" I go, "There's somebody here that's not really here. I gotta go. Goodbye." Doing what I do, he understood that completely. So this happened like that, but as I dropped the F bomb a couple of times, I startled who was behind me. And I watched him spin to his left, and he went down on all fours. And he crawled on all fours to where that other window is, right in the middle of that hallway.
Jeez.
And when he got to that spot, because he was crawling and going down, when he got down, he formed a ball. The ball was about the size of a softball. And it was one of those that it looked like it was electrically charged, like those balls that you touch and that they zap out. That's what it looked like. And then, of course, my reaction is, okay, somebody's messing with me. They threw a ball down here. So I started walking towards it, and as I walked towards it, it started weaving down the hallway. And I'm like, "What the heck? That's not a ball. What," this is like freaking cool. So I start walking to the hallway and I start following it down the hall and I put on my flashlight. As soon as I put on my flashlight, it disappears. So I'm like, "Holy moly, that was crazy." So I go running back to where Greg is and I'm like, "You guys are not going to believe what I just saw." And of course, everybody followed me and we all ran back there and the experience was over. But boy, what an experience that was. That was amazing.
John will tell you investigators spend their entire career in this field for that kind of experience.
Yes. And people are always, some people are like, "Oh, well, you were just in there investigating for a night or whatever." No, 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 no. I've been investigating there since 2004, and that's the first time it's ever happened to me.
Hmm.
And you spend a
So don't
lot of
go
time
there.
in this place.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like you're going to go there and it's going to happen. Sometimes you got to keep going back and going back and going back. I mean, look how long it took before I got to see that.
Yeah.
Let's get to this final one here. Greg apparition.
Oh, yeah. So I've been investigating since 1991. And it took me until 2019 before I saw my first shadow figure apparition. Now, this was the second one I saw. So this is in solitary confinement. I was leading a tour group during a private investigation, walking down here, and the one, two, third opening on the left, the third cell door opening.
Okay.
I walked by this cell, and there's a guy standing there, standing right in the cell. It was one of these where it was like, whoa, so quick. It's like I turn and look, and there's a guy standing there, and I like whoa, stumbled back a little because I wasn't expecting to see anybody standing in the cell. I didn't say anything. I mean, my mouth, dropped. I didn't say anything. But the woman behind me, she saw it, and she just started crying. But then, as quick as it was there, it was gone. But we both saw it, so there were two witnesses that saw that. And there again, we weren't investigating. It was just a tour, And that there have been murders in this area. Down there, there was an inmate that was murdered through those doors, and on the other side, there was a guard that was murdered. So, yeah, that's. I've seen 5 shadow figures apparitions, and all those 5 have been since 2019, and 4 of them have been at the reformatory.
Yeah, we actually had an apparition one time that followed my ghost hunting group, our ghost
Oh,
walk group.
yeah.
Right, the ghost walk is where you go on a 2-hour tour and you tell about all the stuff that happens, your personal experiences. And I had a group of about 10 because it was around COVID time. And normally we have a few more, but I only had a group of 10, and we were coming down from the chapel, went down a tier. We were supposed to go down 2 tiers, and half of the group went a completely different direction. And the pusher who's behind that's supposed to keep everybody together is going, "You guys are going the wrong way. The guys are going the wrong way." Well, one of the things I tell everybody is follow the person in front of you. They were following the person in front of them.
Hmm.
And they got around to an area where there was a gate that was blocking off the tier and it had a deadbolt, or not a deadbolt, a lock on it, the key lock. It was locked up. They saw him walk through it. And they were like, "How do you do that?" It's like, so,
The your experience, Kathy. You were on your phone. What was it? A cell phone that had a camera?
yes, it was a cell phone that had a camera.
What is it about the human condition when we have these experiences? We don't automatically go to, let me collect that evidence. I think we're in the moment.
Yes. Well,
Disbelief, confusion, maybe some fear involved with it also, certainly surprise, but it doesn't matter. John, as long as you've been doing this, do things still surprise you? And by time you recover from the event, that's when you go, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. Hindsight being
Many,
2020.
many times, many times, because when you have an experience and things are happening, you get so wrapped up into that at that point in time, you don't think about that. Then you're standing there a few minutes later and go, "Oh, I wish I had my camera on." But we all do that, and there's many a times I wish, again, I had my camera on with different things, and we just don't think of it. But again, you still have that experience, and that's what's important.
Yeah, that's really cool. And to add on to that a little bit, I also was like, okay, there has to be a logical reason for this. So I was trying to think that too, like, oh, somebody threw a ball down. But there were three cameras too, because we have security cameras in the
Hmm.
building. One was down at the end of the hall, one was in the corner between the two windows, and the other one was where Greg was. So we thought we had it. We thought we had it on camera because the one camera was facing right at me. So we couldn't wait until everything was done to get down there and check the security camera. The security camera wasn't working.
See,
Yeah.
It,
Now, what was cool about it though,
Wow.
it's like, okay, the one camera showed her flashlight shining down the hallway, like she said she did. She said she shined the flashlight down the hallway, following it. That one captured her flashlight. The other one where she said she ran in the room, like, ah, you guys aren't going to believe me. That one captured her. But the one that should have captured the apparition, well, we all know what happens with cameras and electronic equipment. That one, whoop, nope.
yeah,
oh yeah,
crazy.
That is why I've gotten to the point in time in uh, my interest in the field of just the personal experience. I'm not concerned about data
Same
capture
here. Same
Same
because
here.
here.
all of us.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
so much more personal, and you cherish it for what it is for yourself, which is
Mhm.
incredible. All right, before we go, we got to talk about this because it's the reason we have you guys here tonight, as well as Mr. John Zaffis, and we are talking about
Oh, look at Loder.
Parapsychon. And here's a list of all the guests that we're going to be seeing during that time. Cindy Kaz is going to be there, of course. John Zaff. Give us the whole rundown. Who's going to be there, guys?
Oh, gosh. Okay,
Everybody.
let me go. I don't want to miss anybody. So let me go to my phone really quick because I don't want to miss anybody.
Yeah, because
All
you'll
right.
hear about it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw dead air. You never mentioned me.
Okay, so we have Dr. Maria Mayer. For those, I mean, she was on Expedition Bigfoot. And then we have John Zaffis. Everybody knows John Zaffis. Uh, he's the godfather. I mean, he is the man to go to anything paranormal. We have Dustin Perry. We have Ben Hansen. He's our UFO man.
Yep.
Anything UFO. Um, we have Cindy Kaza. Cindy Kaza will be there. In fact, Cindy Kaza will be having a gallery reading on Thursday, May 14th. So you can get tickets for that. We still have a handful of tickets available for that. We have Russell Acord from Expedition Bigfoot. We have Dave Schrader. Everybody knows Dave. We have Brian J. Cano. That was John Zaffis's partner in crime from Hunt a Collector. We have Heather Taddy. We have Shane Pittman. We have Cody and Satori. And we have the Ray Chasers, Chris Smith and Mike Goncalves. Mike Ricksecker, who's a neighbor of ours up here in Ohio. We have our Ken Gerhardt, our crypto guy. Dan Sturgis, Paranormal Caught on Camera. The big guy, Tim Shaw. Haley Michelle, the Paranormal Princess, TikTok person. We have Dana Stricker, one of our speakers, and we have Lauren Hellickson, one of our other special guest speakers. So I think we have a great, great lineup.
Mhm.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be one action-packed weekend. There is going to be probably uh, one or two good comic moments, especially when you have people like John Zaffis present. Um, and, that's the most important part, I think, of the field. John and I have talked ad nauseum about how important humor is in this field and not taking it too serious. If you can crack jokes with the spirits, sometimes they are just tickled pink to enjoy it rather than go, when did you die? What
Yeah.
crime did you commit? Just all that stuff.
What
Why are
year
you
is it?
still here? Right.
That's the frustrating part behind it. That we see too much of that and not enough of creativity out there in this field. Have some fun with it. Do different things that people don't expect, and bring a second change of clothes in case you get scratched in the chair room. Things of that sort. Which I have a feeling now John's going to be booking it to that location. But the event is happening May 15th through 17th. How do people get tickets?
People can get tickets. They can go to the website parapsychon.com.
Mhm.
That's the
And
easiest way to get tickets. We got a ticket tab on there.
And I do want to say real quick, as far as ticketing and everything, there's no cost to get into the convention itself. The cost to get into the convention, you're actually paying admission into the Ohio State Reformatory. Now, on our website, parapsychon.com, when you go to purchase your day or your weekend pass, it'll take you right to the Ohio State Reformatory where you can purchase a self-guided tour or a weekend pass. So that's not something that we take for Parapsychon. That's actually the admission into the Ohio State Reformatory. Now we do have other events that we do ticket for, like our Cindy Kaza, of course, that's one event that you can buy tickets. The other one is Friday night. We have a kickoff party where you can actually network with all of the special guests and enjoy some drinks and food. And we also
In
have
the auction.
auction items there. Our auction items are, personal, well, not too personal, personal things from the guests and stuff that you would not be able to purchase otherwise. So, and we've got some, tickets to other events and everything. That's on Friday night. Saturday night, that's the celebrity ghost hunt. That's where you're going to be able to walk the hallways or go to the creepy or go in the chair room with Johnny Zaffis, So you're going to have that. Those are all extra and you can pay for that. Greg, you're
And,
going to say something.
and the escape room.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, talk about that, Greg. That's like
Yeah,
really
we're
cool.
selling tickets for the escape room raffle. So, what you can do, we're selling escape room raffle tickets. So, the winner of the escape room, they can choose one of three escape rooms that the Ohio State Reformatory has here. They have Escape from Shawshank,
And they're
they
really
have
cool.
the Apocalypse Lab, and they have Cabin of the Damned. So the winner of the drawing can choose one to three of their favorite family members or friends. If they choose not to pick a family member, they can choose two of our special guests from a lineup, which John Zaffis is included. Uh, so that is pretty awesome. They also get up to 3 weekend passes to Parapsychon. So how cool is that? They get possibility to pick John Zaffis to do the escape room. They get to pick the escape room. They get to pick three of their closest friends, and they get to pick up to
A weekend
three
pass.
weekend passes. So,
Yeah,
and
I
then you
think
can
that,
get the escape room tickets online too. And all the money goes back into the Ohio State
yep,
Reformatory. Kathy and I and our company Black Shamrock Events and Parapsychon and our group Tri-C Ghost Hunters, we don't take any money.
no money. We do this all, we all volunteer our time. All of the work put into this, we do not keep one penny of it. Prior to doing it at the Ohio State Reformatory, we did it at a different location. All the money was donated to local charities. Greg and I are very giving people, and so are our team members. Johnny, you can attest to how great
Oh,
our
yeah.
team members are. They love going there and working their butts off and not making a penny, because it's just an amazing time. They're good people.
There is a
Absolutely.
way for you guys to make Kathy and Greg, again, it's been an amazing interview and you are fantastic guests. But there's a way for you guys to make money. Sell tickets to get time with John Zaffis on the Friday night party. That's the best ticket of the entire weekend.
Yes.
He's trying to tell you I'm going to get drunk. That's what he's trying to
The best part of the weekend is John's table at the bar.
Yeah. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, we will.
I am envious.
Just don't miss the limo bus.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
It's
you.
been an absolutely wonderful evening talking with you. We wish you much success, and let's not end this relationship here. We'd love to have you guys back sometime in the future. Maybe some new updated evidence, scratches, and stories of John Zaffis's Escalade. So
Okay, sounds good to us.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. And John, you were a wonderful co-host tonight. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was good to see these two. I'll be seeing them in a few weeks.
Yep.
Yep, we'll be seeing you soon.
Well,
Yeah.
and
In
thank you
no
so much
time.
for having us on.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you.
appreciate
it's been our pleasure. Thank you so much. And thank you guys all for joining us this evening. Again, don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button for our show. That does it for our Patreon members. We'll see you all tomorrow night at 8 p.m. in the Patreon Town Hall. Until then, on behalf of Mr. John Zaffis, my co-host, my name is George Lopez. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees.
All right.